Welcome to the Non-Negotiable Living podcast, where we're building lives by design by creating non-negotiable habits around fitness, family, faith, and financial freedom.
Welcome back to Non-Negotiable Living. I'm Ashley, and today we're diving into a topic that's on everyone's minds as we approach the holiday season. And it's how do you stay on track with your health and fitness goals despite the holidays? So yes, the holidays are a time for family, celebration, and delicious food. But just because we're surrounded by temptation doesn't mean we have to abandon our goals altogether. So let's talk about how we can find balance this holiday season without feeling deprived or guilty. Now, the first thing to understand is that we have to set realistic expectations going into the holidays. Let's start by setting the right mindset. The goal is not to lose weight during the holidays. It's to maintain your progress and stay consistent with your habits that keep you feeling good. And yes, if those habits are consistent enough, you're going to continue to lose body fat and build muscle if those are your goals, and that's how your program is aligned. But don't think that this time of year has to be a time of great sacrifice in order to get to your goals. We have to remember that the holidays are a short period of time, and taking a couple days off to enjoy our time with our family is not the end of the world. So we need to allow ourselves some grace. The number on the scale may fluctuate, and that's totally normal. So we'll talk about why and how to keep a level-headed approach to that as we go through the podcast today. Now, one of the biggest things I need people to understand going into the holidays is, in and of itself, the holidays are really just a couple days. So we have Thanksgiving Day, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day. I don't even know if you'd call it that. In my opinion, I would call this 4 holidays, 4 days of eating what we want, enjoying what we want, having fun, drinking if that's what you do, spending time with your family, and allowing yourself to enjoy the holidays, all the festivities, and the things that come with it. So when we think about the grand scheme of things, the holidays in and of themselves are not the problem. The problem is that people slide into Thanksgiving, celebrate Thanksgiving, and then they think, well, screw it. Christmas is only a few weeks away. Who cares what I do? Then they spend the next 3 weeks leading up to Christmas not doing anything. Then comes Christmas Eve, then Christmas Day, and then they say, well, screw it. New Year's is just around the corner. I might as well just keep up with my terrible habits until New Year's. So then the problem is we turn 4 days that could have been, if you want to put air quotes and say cheat days or 20% days, we take 4 days and we turn it into a month and a half. That is the problem, you guys. It is not that there are holidays. We should all be taking 20% days. Everybody should have days off of tracking, eating what they want. That's all part of the process if you're on the right plan. And if your diet or approach to nutrition does not allow you days off, then you're on the wrong program and it's not sustainable, first and foremost. So let's get back to this. In my program and with my clients, we follow the 80-20 rule. So what is that? That means that 80% of the time, I want my clients to be hitting their macros, staying at or below their calorie goals if their goals are weight loss, hitting their protein goals so we can maximize muscle growth to increase metabolism. But that other 20% of the time is theirs to enjoy. If they want to go have all-you-can-eat sushi and drink wine with their spouse, they should do that. If you want to go out for a girls' night and have tacos and margaritas, you should do that. If you want to eat pizza and ice cream with your kids, you should do that. It's about what we do most of the time, not some of the time. So 80-20 is what we follow. That means 8 out of every 10 days we are hitting our goals. Now let's think about this. Thanksgiving Day is 1 day, okay? So you could easily hit the 80-20 rule with Thanksgiving. Christmas and Christmas Eve, 2 days, 80-20. That means the other 8 days that surround Christmas, if you're hitting your goals and you're taking those 2 days off, you're still fine. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day, that's 2 days. So if for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, you drink what you want, you eat what you want, you do what you want, and then for the 8 days that follow, you hit your macros, you're fine. So please, people, understand that the holidays are not the problem. Your mindset of getting off track with your goals, falling off the wagon, stopping exercising, eating like crap because you ate like crap, that is the problem. So the holidays are a perfect time to practice the 80-20 rule, and if you don't do it yet, you should start. So choose the holiday events. Build your plan around those days. Consider Thanksgiving, day off. Christmas Eve, day off. Christmas Day, day off. New Year's Eve, day off. Those are your days. Give yourself that grace. Plan for it. Tell yourself, I'm going to do what I want on those days because there's no way I'm going to overeat to the extent that I'm going to gain weight on those days. Yes, your scale will be up. You're going to put on water weight. You're going to be bloated. You might feel like crap. But that does not mean that you're gaining fat. You have to overeat 3,500 calories over your maintenance calories to gain 1 pound of fat. So if you are, like me, woman, anywhere in the 30s, your maintenance calories are probably around 2,000. So you would have to eat 5,500 calories or more to put on a pound of fat. I was on a group call with my clients this morning, and my client pointed out that the average American eats 5,000 calories on Christmas Day, which is fascinating to me. I love that. I'm actually going to track all of my macros on Christmas just to see how I stack up against the average American. But I typically don't track on holidays just because it doesn't matter. It's my 20% day. So please go into the holidays with an expectation that you're going to give yourself those days off. You're not going to beat yourself up over what you eat. But we are going to talk about some ways to approach it so you don't feel like crap because of what you eat on those days. But make those holidays your 20% days. Enjoy the festivities, enjoy the special foods, enjoy the things we don't eat all year on those days, because that's what those days are for. But for the rest of the days that surround it, commit to your macros, commit to keeping things balanced, hitting your normal macro goals. This way you can enjoy the festivities without feeling like you're totally off track. And remember that enjoying a meal or a treat does not mean ruining your progress. A balanced approach keeps you consistent over time. Now, the next thing I want to acknowledge here is that when we go to these events, or if we're hosting these events, we have a choice of what we eat or what we bring or what we prepare. So one of the best ways to stay on track is to look up recipes that align with your fitness goals. There are countless healthy, delicious holiday recipes that don't skimp on flavor. So if you love certain holiday foods, look up lighter versions of them. Try high protein options, low sugar swaps, or recipes that contain more vegetables or just higher protein content. So consider bringing a dish to the holiday gatherings that you know is going to support your goals, so you know at least one thing there will. Now, along with that, when we're at these gatherings, it's really important to prioritize what you need before eating what you want. And what I mean by that is you eat what you need before indulging in the extras. So start with a portion of protein, start with some vegetables, start with a salad, fill up on nutritious foods. If you're the kind of person who you like to eat multiple plates of foods on holidays, which I'm one of those people, I like to go get a plate first that contains my meat, my vegetables, and a side. I eat like a normal person, the first meal, prioritize protein. And then I go, okay, I want to try a little bit of all the dishes. And I'll go up and I'll do a little scoop of everything so I can try it. Prioritize what's necessary for your goals first. What's going to fill you up, what's going to make you feel satiated. That way you don't overeat. If you go up round one and you're dishing up rolls and candy yams and pumpkin pie and completely ignoring protein and fiber, then what's going to happen is you're going to be hungry very quickly soon after, or you're not going to have the off switch hit because carbs don't trigger our body to tell us we're full. So if you start with all the high carb foods, then your body's going to say, oh, I'm still hungry, I'm still hungry, I'm still hungry. If you start with proteins and fiber, then your body's going to say, oh, I'm getting full. And then you start eating the high carb foods and all the desserts, and your body's going to feel full faster. So once your body's basic needs are met, enjoy all the treats, you'll likely feel fuller and you won't be as tempted to go overboard. So if you're having Thanksgiving dinner, start with turkey, start with some green beans, and then enjoy a bit of the stuffing and pie afterward, and you'll be less likely to overindulge. The next thing to consider is practicing portion control, and this is hard at holidays. People tend to go hard in the paint, they dish up multiple piles of food, they go back for seconds. So consider when you go up to get your first plate, maybe start with smaller portions and truly sit down and enjoy your food. The problem is on holidays, people think there's all this food, I have to eat everything. And they sit down and they start eating and they scarf it down so that they could go get round two. Sit down, savor your food, have a conversation with a loved one while you eat, and really let yourself enjoy what you're eating. So portion control is key when you're surrounded by all these amazing foods. So try sampling small portions of everything you love rather than loading up your plate with big portions of all of it. Remind yourself that you don't have to eat large amounts to enjoy the flavors, and that small bites are just as satisfying and allow you to enjoy it without feeling overly full. Now, the next big thing that I would recommend in order to stay on track with your goals is adjusting your workout schedule based on the holidays. So if you normally work out on Thursdays, obviously Thursday is Thanksgiving. Shift your schedule, allow yourself that grace. If you normally work out on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, which that's me, that aligns with Christmas Eve and Christmas Day this year. So consider shifting your schedule to other days of the week so that you don't have the expectation of working out on the holidays. For a couple reasons. For one, you might think, I'm gung-ho, I'm gonna get my workout in on the holidays. Great, that's great if that serves you, but if it doesn't, don't do it. Set yourself up for success. I have kids. I have a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old. They're gonna be home from school. I know I'm not making it to the gym that day. And some of you might go to gyms that aren't even open, or you might not have childcare at the gym that day if you normally bring your kid to childcare. So consider that you need to set yourself up for success. Shift your schedule accordingly so that you don't have the expectation of needing to work out on those days if that's not something you feel is going to happen. So what I would say is if you typically work out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, the week of Thanksgiving, consider working out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. Shift it ahead of time, plan accordingly, create that grace and leeway for yourself. That way you don't set this unreasonable expectation that, yeah, I'm gonna be all gung-ho on the holiday and go work out, and then you fail yourself. So it's normal for our schedules to shift around the holidays. Instead of skipping workouts, adjust your plan. Move them around so you can still fit them in. Also, if you're going to be traveling and you normally do gym workouts, consider finding a home workout you can do. That's one of the things that I offer to my clients is when they're traveling or out of town, I'll put in home workouts, body weight workouts, band workouts. That way, if they know they're not going to have the equipment they need, that they can still get something done. And also, even if you can't get a full workout in, aim for a short session or maybe even a walk after dinner or before dinner or in the morning, before the festivities, before watching football. Consider the fact that it doesn't have to be going to the gym. It doesn't have to be this big thing, but prioritize moving your body, not only because you're sticking with your goals, you're sticking to your habits, but also because your body's going to thank you later, because when you eat all this food on the holidays, you're going to feel bloated, you're going to feel uncomfortable. And by getting that walking and movement in, you're going to feel better. Now, the next thing is expecting the scale to increase. So after holiday meals, you might notice the scale creeped up a little bit. This is temporary water weight typically. It's not fat gain. We talked about that earlier. The average person would need to consume over 3,500 calories above maintenance to gain a pound of fat. So you have to remember that when you're eating saltier foods, higher carb foods, they lead to water retention. But this will level out within a few days if you return to your normal routine. So don't let the scale numbers discourage you. If you typically weigh yourself on Wednesday and Christmas Day is Wednesday, I would recommend you wait till the next week. Just give yourself that understanding, or just look at it objectively and say, this is data. What I ate yesterday made my weight go up this much, and I'm gonna watch it return back to normal over the next couple days because I am gonna get back to my habits. So instead, focus on how you're feeling, your consistency, and let those be better indicators of your progress. And just try to be mindful. Keep in mind that the reason people stay off track with the holidays is not just the holiday, but the aftermath. So you have Thanksgiving, great, you have this huge feast, enough food for an army, all these meals, all these pies, all these desserts. Well, the problem isn't just overeating on Thanksgiving, it's the 4 days afterwards. You're still eating mashed potatoes and green bean casserole, pumpkin pie every single day. So you need to set the expectation that if having those foods in your house doesn't serve you, get them out of your house. You can go donate the food to a homeless shelter or a soup kitchen. You can send the food home with people. Just set that expectation for yourself of, does this serve me or does this not? I think that this is something that a lot of people struggle with. And I use the example with my clients this morning on a call, letting them know that last year, my mother-in-law made this incredible plate of cookies for us around Christmas. There were probably about 7 different things on this plate. Well, throughout the weeks leading up to Christmas, we nibbled on it. The kids ate some of the cookies. We ate some of the caramels. There were some of the things on there. The day after Christmas, that plate was still sitting there half empty. And by default, if that's sitting on your counter, your brain is going to tell you, I need to eat that. I need to eat that. I can't let that go to waste. But that's not true. So we ended up tossing the rest of the cookies because it wasn't serving us. It wasn't supporting our goals. So get rid of it. And this goes with anything. If you're the kind of person that having food out on the counters is going to make you default to eating it, even when you're not hungry, when you don't need it, get it out of sight. Out of sight, out of mind. Put it in a drawer, put it in the pantry, put it away so that you're not tempted to walk by and just continue to grab it. This is why people should not have buckets of candy on their counters. They shouldn't have plates of cookies. Be reasonable about the expectation that you might be weak-willed. A lot of people are. That's our human nature by default. If we see it, we want it. It's that instant gratification. It's within reach. So remove it from your eyesight so it doesn't trigger those desires all throughout the day. We also need to just practice being mindful. So when we are at holiday gatherings, try to slow down, savor every bite, spend time talking to people. Don't just try to stuff your face. Spend time with your family, conversing, take breaks between plates, drink some water. If you're drinking alcohol, try and go alcohol waters, just so you don't feel like crap the next day. It's the time of year that's about connection, celebration, and reflection. So don't stress over being perfect. Focus on balance, enjoy the moments, stay consistent where you can. Enjoy the foods with your family. Soak up the holiday season, enjoy the festivities. And you are more than capable of maintaining your progress during the holidays. Make the choices that serve you, and remember, we are here cheering you on every step of the way. If you need help and support navigating the holidays, if you know you're going to get off track, if you know you're going to stay off track, get help and support. Having a good coach, having a community, having accountability, those things are key to not only getting on track with your goals, but staying on track with them. But more than anything, enjoy the holidays. Let yourself enjoy your time with your family, the foods, the festivities. Set reasonable expectations. Go into it with a plan. Schedule your workouts accordingly. Pick good foods and prioritize what you need over what you want. Be mindful. Expect the temporary scale increases and get back on track with your goals. Thank you for tuning in to Non-Negotiable Living. If you found this episode helpful, be sure to subscribe. Send it to a friend, share it with somebody who could also benefit from this. The holidays are a hard time of the year for people to stay on track with their goals, and the more encouragement, the better. So stick to your plan, use the 80-20 rule through the holidays. You guys got this.